Hi, it's Alex, and I wanted to talk about a history of our favorite band, The Fall. Actually, Dan told us a lot of things on weekly whips and live streams, but I wanted to include everything in one video to make it clear. At the beginning, I want to remind you why is this band called The Fall. Well, Dan's friend Kyle Lewis found it in dictionary and it means a group of people working together with one common goal. And as you can notice, boys from The Fall just liked it and agreed. As you know, or not, The Fall was born in 2002. Unfortunately, the band broke up quickly because of Dan's personal stuff like getting married, becoming a Christian, and focusing on personal life. 2003 was a year of 2 albums, Not of This World and an EP, Rarities. The funny thing is that it's not exactly said which of the albums came out as first. The Fall came back as an official band in 2005 and they started to work with Tooth and Nail to release their first label album, This Too Shall Pass, that came out February 2006. In May 2007 we got Secrets Keep You Sick, the second full-length album from The Fall, and this album is mostly about losing someone because Dan's mom died in fall 2006, so these songs are mostly written about her, about the sadness that they felt. And also, Dan wrote 2 songs, Closer and Beside You Now, from perspective of his dad, because he lost the love of his life. In 2008 we got an EP called Stargazer, and this album can be called some kind of an experiment, because The Fall wanted to make anything different than they made, and this album is anything similar to Faster Still from Secrets Keep You Sick, because it was different than the rest of their music. They wanted to take risks and try to do anything different, more electronical than rock. The story of this EP is also interesting because The Fall wanted to go for a tour to Europe. Tooth and Nail said they'll give them a bit of the tower support, but the band didn't have the exact reason to go there. An EP was the idea to pay the label back. Also, in 2008, Secrets Keep You Sick was nominated to Grammy in category Best Recording Package, but the artwork lost to Bright Eyes. We are in 2009 and it's a year of Dear Future Come Get Me that was independently released because The Fall decided to leave Tooth and Nail, and it was their mutual decision because they wanted to try something else. There was also an idea to bring The Fall to the new label, but it never happened, so they stayed independent. Dear Future Come Get Me, the title of this album says a lot about what the band was facing. It was kinda sad because they lost one member, and the remaining 3 of them didn't give up, they got even stronger to release more music. November 26 was the day when The Fall released Every Band in the USA, a parody of Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus, and it shows the real picture of some bands, their concerts and a music autotune. Also, The Fall had a very humorous side, but they never shown it in their music. But when they were touring and noticing some things in other bands, they started to write down their thoughts about it and they made this parody. And also they had fun because of the internet and what was happening there. The Fall had a series on YouTube in 2010 and it was called Best 5 Friends. When they were on a tour, these videos were mostly for fun. It was a time when Matt and George joined the band and they brought along Joe Martin on their tour, so he documented all of their fun times, and they tried to showcase more than they'd done before, since they knew that they have a YouTube channel with subscribers who want more than music, so The Fall gave them some fun. In June 2010 we got a single called Never Ender. It's added to Dear Future Come Get Me as the last track on the list, and also the same year, in December, we got a beautiful single called This Christmas. Actually, Default had a chance to cover a Christmas song called Oh Holy Night in 2005, but they wanted to make an original Christmas song and feel it more like a rocking sound. So they wrote this song and recorded it when they were working out of the time writing NFL music. So NFL's music producer even produced and mixed the song for Default. 2011 and Default released The Weekend Whip, the first Ninjago song. And Default's beginnings with Lego were a little bit crazy. At first, Dan recorded the vocals by himself and sent to music's director, and he wasn't really sure the opportunity would turn into anything, and it seemed kinda silly for him, so he didn't tell the other guys about it. But the demo ended up being an intro of pilot episodes, and the show became very popular, so Default took advantage of it and they started to work for Lego. Default wrote and released Let's Go Cubbies in 2012, and this song became the official song for Chicago Cubs. And this song was for a contest to replace the Cubs' old theme song called Go Cubs Go. And Default won the contest. And after that, this song was on the radio before each Cubs game. Default made a lot of music for Ninjago, brands and sports, but they didn't want to leave the traditional album making process, so they made an album called Moving Fast in 2013. So they even made a Kickstarter campaign to found their second full-length independent release. This album hides a lot of amazing songs, for example Bye Bye Love, Crooked Road, and one about Default's career, La Da Da. Years 2014 to 2017 were a productive time if it means about Ninjago music. We got new whips and other Ninjago songs. In 2016, Default wrote and released more music for Cubs, for example, Let the Games Begin. It was exactly when Cubs became a very good team. Default got asked to write it, and it was for them anything really big, anything that they wanted to do. So they of course agreed. 2017 was fun for Default and Ninjago fans because Dan and George made anything like Lego Ninjago movie 20-day challenge, and they just made a countdown to the movie. It was mostly because they wanted to show anything more than the music to their fans, and in my opinion it's really worth to watch it because it was really great fun watching it. I really felt a lack of Default in 2018 because we didn't get any new music except the Ninjago album All Ages, and all I know is that they wanted to focus on their personal lives, so they just didn't focus at Default that much. In 2019, Default came back with some new stuff, for example Podcast Study. These were podcasts made by Dan and George, and they were talking about everything, informing us about updates, and it was because they wanted to show their funny side. We got also two new whips, Miracle Whip and Wicked Whip, and the funny fact is that Default has a lot of failed whips that we never heard about. That's because they don't want to show us anything failed, everything has to be perfect to show their fans. The next fact is that Dan calls it a blessing and a curse because they are always proud of it, what they release, and the curse because it sometimes takes a lot of time to complete the song. And 2020, it was a productive year for Default because we got two new whips, Arcadian and Shintaro Dungeon. And this time they called Nate, their friend, to help them finish those whips. At the beginning of August we also got a new thing on YouTube from Default, the Weekly Whip. And again Default wanted to add a new content on their channel, so they thought that it's a good idea to show anything from behind the scenes of Ninjago and Default. This is also easy to produce and fans help them by showing their edits or anything. And at the end of August, the quarantine brought us all closer to the amazing band because of their Discord server. where is all the Fold and Ninjago community, and we're having fun together because it's really great fun to know more the Fold's fans from all around the world. In November we got a new, first since 2013, non-Ninjago song called Young and Free. After Young and Free we got a special single, Christmas Whip, because the Fold always wanted to make a new thing like an extra whip, so we got a new thing about Christmas. At the very beginning of 2021 we got a remix of Young and Free, and all I know for now is that the Fold is gonna make more music for us, probably much more stuff except music. And this is all that I wanted to say about the Fold. I hope you liked this video and learned a little bit more about your favorite band. Thank you for watching, and let's wait for more music.